All right, guys, welcome back to Full Moon Hot Rods. I'm gonna show you what I'm out here messing with on the Model A this time. It's gonna be the doors on it this time. Let's see if I can turn this camera around where you can see it. But there's the doors, and you can see pinholes in it all on the bottom. Not really bad doors though at all. I got the patch panels for them right here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the patch panel off. I'm not gonna go any higher than I have to go on the door. So as long as the metal's good right through here, I'm gonna keep the panel down real low. But I guess that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see if we can get this here patched and see how it works out. But you can see where somebody's put Bondo in it years ago. But it looks like it's just at the bottom edge. But you can see it right there where they Bondoed it up. But it's just got a few pinholes in it. But well, let me get set up and we'll see what we can do with it. All right, guys. I'm gonna just take the grinder and grind this little bit of primer off right here. Make sure I don't get any holes. I've looked on the inside of the doors and they look good. All but just right along the top edge of that bead and right here. Like I say, it's not bad at all, but I'd rather go ahead and put a new panel in it while I'm doing it. So let me grind this little bit of primer off across here, and then we'll start seeing if we can get this panel to fit. All right, guys, there's a little bit of a spot right here. I think there might be a little bit of rust between the two panels because it's bulging out a little bit right in here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move up to 4 1/4 inches high. And I'm gonna mark this panel here 4 1/4, cut it off, and then we'll stick it up here and then scribe it. But I'll grind this lip off right here and on the front and here. And then when I do my cut across here, the whole panel will come off. Let me see if I can get this here marked and cut it off, and then we'll cut the door. All right, there it is marked. So I'm gonna just take the zip cut this off, get the burrs off of it, and then I'll bring it back and we'll start marking it out on the door. Alright guys, you can see where they made the panel. It's got a flange at the top. And I don't like putting them in like that with the flange, far as the flange going up, because when water goes in your doors, it's going to run in between it, and after a while it's going to start, if you got any little pinholes anywhere that water can get through, it's going to start bubbling up on you. But if I was going to flange it, I would go here and flange the door across. That way the flange will be on the top, and then the panel will come up to it, and then you would go there and spot weld it in. I've actually done them like that years ago, and they've worked fine all these years. But I'm gonna butt weld these in. So, but yeah, I just don't like the idea of putting a flange in the door with this on the back side going up. It's just gonna hold moisture. And some people will go there and put seam sealer in it and, you know, and paint it and hope for the best. But eventually I think it's going to give you problems, especially if your car gets wet very much. And it seems like with us, everywhere we go, we're either going in the rain or it rains on us when we're at shows and stuff like that. So I just soon butt weld it in or either have the flange going down. But that's just me. Everybody just do it the way you want to. But alright, let's see if we can get this here marked off, and we'll get this door cut. Alright guys, I got the panel just stuck up there. I just made sure it goes up to the bottom of the panel. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark across it, but I'm not going to cut it there. I'm just going to put a mark across it, and then I'm going to drop down maybe an inch or so, and then I'm going to cut it off. And get the old panel out of the way and get where there's no metal in between this panel and the other, get all that off, and then I'll get my panel and get my lines lined up here at the front of the bead and the back of the bead, and then when I get that, then I'll go there and scribe it and cut it for the last time. But let's see if we can get this thing here, get us a mark on it, and make sure it's all the way up. Okay, and like I say, I'm going to drop down from this about an inch or so and then cut it off. I measured from the line down 1 inch all the way across it. So now all I'm going to do is just use this as a straight edge. Like I say, that line there don't have to be exact. That's just where we don't shortchange ourselves. So I'm gonna go here now and cut this line here out, and then I'll grind this edge here and this edge, and I may have to grind the bottom edge a little bit too to get the panel to come off. But let's get this here cut, and we'll see what happens. All right, guys, all I'm gonna do is go here and grind this edge just enough that it'll break through without messing up the inside of the door structure. I don't know if you can see it there, but you can see when the line, it gets like a dark line in it. And that's usually when it's breaking loose. Now we'll get this end in here now, and then we'll see if we can't get it up to come off the door. You can see there how the dirt and mess has been trapped down in there and rusted it out, so it's good that we cut it off and put a new one on. You see the pits from the back side. I guess you can see that. So it wouldn't be long, it would be coming through even if you would have fixed the pinhole. Alright guys, I went ahead and took the doors off the car, off on both sides. So I went ahead, and this is the passenger door here. You see it's got a bad spot right here, right here. So I got to just make this piece and weld it back in. It's be pretty simple to make. And there's the other door right here. You see the spots in it too, where they're at. But I got some places on them doors where they need to be re-sandblasted. So I'm going to sandblast the doors again. Probably not the whole door. Let me turn this thing over. I may not sandblast the whole door, but I'm going to the spots where it's breaking through, like right on this edge, and the very top of the door, right up under here, and right here. I'm going to spot sandblast it, and then this here in the bottom I'm going to sandblast real good and see what's left. If I have to, I'll just put a new bottom in it. If not, I'm going to patch these spots in. But you can see them on this side here where they're at. So that's all I can do tonight. Tomorrow I'll have to sandblast this stuff. So I may do a little bit of a video on that, showing you the video sandblasting, but I may not. I may just sandblast it and then come in and start doing the panels. So anyway, I guess we'll come back tomorrow and see what we got. Alright guys, welcome back to Full Moon Hot Rods. I got the doors sandblasted. It's the next day. I went ahead and sandblasted them and put them in etching primer. And one's a little worse than I thought it was going to be as far as the door bottom, as far as the inside of the bottom. But I believe I'm going to try to make a patch for it. Or let's see. Let me show you what they look like. And see if you can see it. There's the doors sandblasted, and you can see there in the bottom of it where the corner right here is gone, and a few places through there, but that one will be a pretty easy fix there. And this is the other one. It's all sandblasted up, but you can see the bottom in this one's pretty thin right here. But I may just make this whole piece from here to here and weld it in. But well, let's get started on them. I'll probably start with this one here first, I guess, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I went ahead and sprayed a light coat of green etching primer on them just to keep them from flash rusting. All right, well, let's get at it. All right, guys, this is the piece here I cut off of the outer door skin as far as the patch I was going to put on the outside. So I'm going to use some of this metal here where I can, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna take this over there to the vise and just follow this line here and bend the L shape on it. Or I could put it in the metal brake. I may just put it in the metal brake. Alright guys, there's my patch. I'm going to just cut this corner out right here, weld it back in, and then I'll take a straight edge and run it across here to get my mark and cut off the excess that I don't need. That'll get rid of all those thin places there. And I'll probably do another one right here to get rid of this. And I may see if I can weld these up. We'll see how it goes on that. If not, I'll just cut a strip out and put another piece in. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of filing, and I got to knock this little bit of primer off, and get this where I can weld it in. And we'll weld it in, and like I say, we'll go here and trim this off. Alright guys, there it is, tacked in place. All I got to do now is just weld it. Straight edge that right there, cut it off, drill a hole in it for the water to run out the door, just like it's on this end of the door. So let me get this here welded up, and we'll get it ground off, and then we'll move and do some of these other spots. Alright guys, let me get this ground off, and I'm sure there'll be a few pinholes and stuff I'm going to have to fill in. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see it or not, but here's the repair after I ground it off. Pretty simple little thing, but like I said, I got to go here and drill a hole for my water to drain, and I'm going to try taking a copper spoon, go behind this pinhole here, do a couple of small ones. I'm going to see if I can weld them up. If I can't, I'll go there and just cut that section out and put a new section in. But if I can, if it will weld up, if the metal's thick enough, and I believe it is, it'd just be easier than going there and cutting it out. And if it's thick enough, I don't really need to cut it out. So let me see if I can get that welded up. Alright, let's see if we can grind them off and see what they look like. Alright guys, there it is with it welded up. Welded up the pinholes. Ground it off. I'm going to cut this section right here. The two holes here and right here. It's a little bit thin on that edge, so I'm going to cut it out like we did here. So if I'm going to just come up to about this high and down, just put an L piece in. Weld that in, and the bottom of this door be in pretty good shape. I'll go back in on the inside and take it and prime these spots, and then after I get my door panel in it, my outer door skin on it, I'll go in there and paint the whole bottom of this door and let the paint, paint the whole inside the door and let the paint run into cracks and stuff to help seal it. But let me cut this one here out, and I'll make a patch for it. And like I say, the bottom of this door will be good. Alright guys, there's the other patch that I just made. Still using the metal out of that patch panel, because there's no need in wasting it. Because you know, as high as metal is nowadays, I use every piece I can get my hands on. So, but I got that fitting the contour of that. I got it marked, and all I'm going to do is cut the inside edge of my marker line, and I'll file it enough to get in there. So let's get that cut out, and gotta get rid of all this thin stuff right here. And we'll be in good shape on this door. Alright guys, there it is cut out. And here's my piece that's gonna go in right there. So let me get this welded in, we'll grind it off, and that'll finish it for us, the bottom of the door repair on this door. Alright guys, there it is tacked in place. I'm going to go there now and weld all that in solid and then grind it off. Alright guys, I've had some people ask in the comments what size wire am I using. This here's O25 in this welder that I'm using for this sheet metal. It just don't do as high build up, and it's easier to grind off. And I have done it with O30, but you have to get it a little bit hotter. This here takes a lot of the heat out of the panel by doing it with this. So that's what I would recommend, is the O25. Alright, let's finish getting it welded up. That metal's got a coating on it that I'm welding, and I didn't grind it off on that one. That's why it's that old galvanized or whatever kind of coating that is. Let me grind this here off and we'll see what that looks like. Alright guys, we're back out here in the shop. It's a day or two later. I hadn't had a lot of time to work lately on the Model A, been kind of busy. You know how that goes, life gets in the way, it seems like. But anyway, we're back out here messing with it, and I welded up a couple holes that was right here. That wasn't that bad, and I'm gonna go here now and cut this section here out and just make a new section for the door right here and weld that in. It should be pretty easy to make. It's pretty much just not quite a 90, but almost a 90. So I need to get a piece of metal to fit this area right here, and then I'm gonna cut it out, and then we'll mark out the patch that I'm making, and then we'll cut it out and weld it in. Then I'm gonna start putting the outside of the door skin on the doors. But I did take the doors off the car and sandblasted them, everything inside and out. I didn't sandblast this area right here too much because I knew I was going to cut most of this out anyway. But let me go ahead and bend me a piece and get it fit in this shape right here before I cut this out. And as soon as I get that bent up, we'll take and set it on there and mark it. I'll cut that section out, and then we'll weld it in. Let me get that made and I'll bring you back, because it's, like I say, it's just a 90. It ain't really nothing special to make. So, all right, let me get after it. All right, guys, I got here a piece of the gas tank where I cut the bottom out of the gas tank. This is in real good shape, but I'm gonna use that piece of metal to patch this in with. All right, let me get this bent and I'll bring y'all back and show it to you when it bent. All right, guys, there's a piece. Like I said, it's that piece of that gas tank where I cut the bottom out. I got it fitting pretty good there. Just making sure I get the good metal where I can weld to. So all I'm gonna do now is mark this out. I don't want to cut no more off the door than what I have to because I don't want it to lose any shape or anything. So I'm gonna leave, this lip here is good, it's solid. So all I'm gonna do is just go there and cut this off, leave this part, and hopefully nothing won't move. But let me get this section here cut out and then we'll fit that piece in and start tacking it in. All right, guys, there it is cut out. Oh, you can see there how thin it was. But well, let's see if we can get this other piece fitting and we'll get it welded in. All right, guys, there it is cut and fit in place. It's got a little curve to it right here, so I had to bend it, put a little curve in it, nothing major. So now we'll go along here and start welding it in. But it fits pretty good. Alright guys, let me let that cool down a little bit and I'll get this welded up and ground off. And I'll bring you back and let you see what it looks like. Alright guys, there it is welded in. It's not perfect by no means, but it's solid now. I'll bring you in where you can see it a little bit better. I guess you can see it right there, but it didn't turn out too awful bad. We'll flip it over, and I cleaned up on the inside of the door too. So let me show you what it looks like. See if I can bring you over here. You can see there where it's penetrated all the way through. I got to drill a hole now for my drain in the center of the door, at the bottom, and I got to drill the one on the car over there at the very front because I had to replace that front corner in it. So I don't want to forget about doing that. But it didn't turn out too awful bad. Doing it like that, I didn't have to buy a new door bottom, which my dad had some for a sedan, but they would have been too long. I believe the sedan door is a little longer than the coupe door, and I'd have had to cut it in the middle and put it back together. But This right here works out just as good. It's solid now, and like I said, I've sandblasted the doors inside and out, so it should last a long time. And when I get the outer skin on it, I'm gonna go in there and paint the inside of the doors real good too, and let it run down in all the cracks and stuff, just to help seal it up. But, well, let me get this hole here drilled and that hole over there drilled, and we'll start putting the outer skins on the door. All right, guys, I got both doors back on. I can't shut it all the way because of this lip right here. You know, it has to be folded around, and this front one's got to be folded around. But I can hold it up here, and I can see that my body line is lined up across the top edge. It lines up pretty good, so I can take the door off and then take this edge right here and just push it straight up against that, and it should line up without any problem at all. So but that's the way it'll be right there. And I drilled my other hole in the front corner on this side, and I drilled it in the middle on the other one where we put the patch in. All right, let me take this door here back off, and we'll set up and put this patch panel, start putting it on. All right, guys, let's see if we can get this start getting this fitted up and see if we can get it welded up. See, that's what I was talking about. Just take it, put it on, slide it all the way up. With it in place like that, all I'm gonna do is scribe a mark across right here, and then come back and cut it off and keep fitting it until I get my gap the way I want it, where the welder will penetrate all the way through. You can put it there and take your grinder and cut it at an angle like that and do the same thing. It's just I like scribing it. That's just the way I like doing it. Okay, let me see if I can get me a scribe and everything and get this set up. See if we can't get it cut off. All right, I got it pushed up and it laying flat. And all I got is just a pick, and I'm going to use it as a scribe. Okay, you can see my mark. I guess you can see my mark across here. But now I'm gonna take the zip cut, go there and cut that off, and then we'll start fitting it, trying to get my gap right where I can butt weld this thing on. All right, guys, there it is fitting in place. Like I said, all I did was scribe it, cut it off, and put this panel up here. I use these to try to line it up because the door wants to go in just a little bit, and I'm actually still going to push up on it just a little bit in different places, like right in here and right in here. All right, guys, I got it pretty much in place. Got me a little bit of a gap where I can weld it up, where I can get penetration, where I can actually grind most of the weld off the front of it. It's going to take anytime you do something like this, it's going to take a little bit of body filler. Hopefully not very much though. But let me see if I can get this here welded in place, and we'll grind it off and bend the lips around on the door that should be it for this door. Alright guys, that feels pretty good right there. So then I'm gonna go back and start trying to get this whole thing welded in. I had to dial it just a little bit. It was a low spot right here and one right in here. Not bad at all though. So alright, let me get this here welded and we'll grind it off and bend them edges. Alright guys, there it is welded up. Now I'm going to start grinding on it. See what it looks like. But let me get on that and we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, there's the inside of the door. So you can see where it penetrated. I just knocked the high spots off of the welds. There's the bottom of the door. Now I got to fold these edges over around the door and weld these corners here and put a few tacks on it across the bottom, and that'll be it for the door, other than, you know, finish working it and stuff. Let me see if I can get these edges bent over, and we'll flip the door over after I get that, and you see what it looks like. got that edge locked in. Now we got to do the side here. There's one corner. Alright guys, there it is with the edge knocked around. Like I said, I got to go here and weld it, I got to go here and weld it and put a few spot welds across the bottom. And weld this edge right here all the way around. But, like I say, there's the inside of it. Let me flip it over. Take a look at the other side. See how bad I bent it up, knocking that edge around. Okay. Let me get this here ground off, and we'll stick it back on the car and take a look. All right, guys, there it is, welded in on the side with it ground off. It's not perfect, but it's not real wavy either. So it ought to work out real good. And I believe I'm gonna stick this one, put a little bit of primer on this just to keep it from rusting, and stick it back on the car. All right, guys, there's the door back on the car. And you can see there how it lines up and everything. Lines up pretty good. Even the gap on the doors and stuff, everything still lines up just like it did. But anyway, there's one done. I'm not gonna video the other door. Fixing it, I did the bottoms, you know, and the outer door skin. So the other one's gonna be the exact same thing. I hate to bore y'all to death with that. All right, guys, that's it for this video on fixing the doors. Man, I sure appreciate everybody that watches. It amazes me that many people watches what they do. You're out here messing with old car like this, but anyway, I said I was going to take everybody on for a ride, and that's what I'm trying to do. It's not like one of these other YouTube builds where they're just throwing some mess together just to get a bunch of videos. I'm actually building this car to keep, so I'm not just going to rush through it. I want to do it the way I want it, and where it end up the way I want it to end up in the end, and be a good, dependable old car. But I do appreciate everybody that watches this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Don't cost nothing. It'll help the channel out, help us grow a little bit. And like the videos, and for sure comment. I like to read the comments, and I try to answer everybody. But guys, y'all take care, and I'll have another one coming out soon. All right, later.